that. Right. Hello, everybody. And again, just a little bit of fun for us. So we've had a quick switch. For those of you that are joining us, we've had a quick switch over to StreamYard rather than Zoom. So my name is Helena.
I'm Kelly.
And we've got the lovely Nora with us. So I'll let her introduce herself in a moment. But we are Speaker Insight, where we help speakers, authors, and coaches to build a portfolio business on your terms. And we are excited about today because we're going to be talking about the thing that a lot of people kind of almost have some shame around and don't really kind of know quite what to do. And so we're going to be talking all things logo with someone who's made hundreds and thousands of them. Maybe I'm exaggerating you a little bit, but it feels like that, Nora. So it's good. So you all know the drill. If you're here and you normally join us, then, you know, what is the buzz in your business? That's what we really want to do. And I, of course, am inviting any of you who are not joining us live to do the hashtag replay so that we know that you are watching, even if it's a year from when we first did this. We still want to know that you are sat wherever in your part of the world doing what you're doing and watching this because it's relevant for you and your business right now. So Kelly is currently sharing things out. How's that going for you?
Joe and Kat and people like that are joining us as the moment. So hi, everyone. Say hi if you're watching this. Look at our new setup. This is our first trial run of using StreamYard for Facebook live streaming, purely because it has played up on us too many times for Facebook live streaming that we're having a stop and we're protesting, and we've got some great feedback on StreamYard. So let's give us if you've used StreamYard for your own Facebook streamings, and tell us in the comments. If you're a Zoom person, tell us in the comments. We want to know. We'll have a Zoom StreamYard face-off.
So whilst all of that is going on, whilst you're responding to us, we're going to tell you a little bit about the buzz in our business. One of the very first things about that is we have a Connect and Create Day coming up. Now, a Connect and Create Day is a place where you get together with 15 other speakers, authors, and coaches who are all part of the Connection Hub, which is our group. It's a part networking, so you definitely get a chance to connect with those people at a deeper level, get to know the people that you're maybe only knowing virtually at the moment. But it's also a chance to really work on your business, to take a step back and work on the things that actively matter, and a chance to get a 20-minute coaching session from Kelly or I, which is usually creates more work than you would love and is really useful. That's the feedback that we have.
This time it's virtual, right? Because we run them in London every time. And so the people that normally go, oh, it's so far for us to travel, or they're in Nora on the other side of the world across the pond and can't just come over for a quick half-day session. This is our first ever virtual Connect and Create Day. So I know Helena's busy going to put some links in and stuff for you. So obviously at a reduced cost, because obviously we haven't got as many running costs to run it, and allow you to still connect with people, still have the pitching, as we call it, example, the networking, getting your pitch ready, the connection with other people, and also the support. That's something that we're changing and adapting, while we know that we might still be in lockdown on May the 22nd. Second, right? So we probably will still be predicting we'll be in lockdown. So we're going to hold this one virtually. So I know that Kat's saying that she's watching from the garden. She likes StreamYard. We've got Neve, Bobby, loads of people on there. So good to see everybody. Hopefully those, as Helena said, we only have 16 places. So they always go really quickly. So please do click on the link and ask us any questions on how it will work differently virtually. But it's pretty much the same.
It is pretty much the same. It's just, you'll still have the same opportunities to connect with people. We might even stick you in rooms with people over the weekend. I think the world is getting used to, and I think Nora's got a story around this one, around her buzz too, but the world is really getting used to meeting virtually in larger and larger groups. So if we're not allowed to meet in large groups, at the moment in person, then we're certainly doing so. I was on a workshop over the weekend that had 762 participants with 22 facilitators, done from participants from 37 countries and delivered in 5 languages. And my Spanish is so much better because it was pretty much simultaneous English-Spanish, and it was really quite impressive. That's not bad going.
And Kat's really excited that the Connects and Create Day is back virtually. So we look forward to seeing you.
Which is really good. So I've got one more bit of buzz, and then we'll ask Nora as well. So I have been, I normally do my Wonder Space and Vision Board workshop on a quarterly basis, because it really is a great space again to reflect in a very different way and get creative with your future. So, as with all things at the moment, I'm running a virtual one, and that's going to happen on the 17th of May. So if you fancy joining me for the day to really just get your creative juices going and to really take a look at what do I want to create, generate for me and my future from this place that we're in right now, please come. I would love you to join me, and I want to hold a space for you to just do all of that wandering. So link below, so please feel free to join me. And you never know, those people who always feel like they're missing out because I normally do it in person might be able to actively join me for this one, which is really good. So that's me all over and done. That's us. So Nora, what's the buzz in your business? And then we'll get to it.
And then we'll find out who you are.
All right. Well, I too have been amazed. Back in 2008, I actually wanted my business to be global. Ooh, are you there?
Don't worry. That was me just doing the comments and everything else.
Okay.
Keep going.
And so this past week and this week, I am talking to 4 different continents, doing business, really helping people kind of think through their businesses, how to shift from what they're doing now to slightly adjusting, keeping their vision, but adjusting just slightly so that they can actually fill a need right now. So it has been absolutely amazing. I love to dream with my clients, and this is one of those things that I get to do, and it's really one of my favorites. So.
You basically been traveling the world via Zoom and serving clients all over different time zones, right?
Absolutely. It's been fantastic. I'm getting really good at converting times in different zones.
So we really appreciate you for getting up early this morning to joining us on our lunchtime session, which is why we're an hour later than we normally are, but we didn't want to wake you up too early. So let's get into the content of the day. I know we've got quite a few people watching us, and we always listen to the members. I know Helena's going to put a link into the connection hub if you haven't done it already. I can't see, but so in our group, we always listen to what are the things that our members are asking for a lot. And lots of the times people go, oh, I need a new logo, or I've just started the business, or I've just branched out and I need a logo. And something that shocks us quite a lot is the urgency that people put on a logo, and that they expect to go, okay, so I've started this new business and I need a logo next week or tomorrow. And they think that actually all you need is the company name, a color palette, or not even a color palette. I want purple. And then they're like, okay, can someone make a logo? And so I've known you for a long time. I know, you met Helena recently. So I completely appreciate what goes into making a logo, right? As in the creative element of it. But the bit that we like about you on top of that, because that's a lot of branding people will probably say, yeah, I completely agree with Nora here. But some of the things that you think differently. So you actually look at how logos convert in their marketing and things like that, and you track things. And I'm like, okay, we need to tell the world about this fabulous woman that basically is a creative genius, understands lots of different markets, because you do play in the speaker author space and more, but you know this area really in detail. But you make a logo work for you, okay? So can you tell us a little bit about why this uniqueness about you, how you work in this way, or why you've discovered that this is your sweet spot for logos specifically?
So, thank you. I'm getting feedback there.
Yeah.
Oh, as in like you can hear yourself or you can hear me? I can't hear any feedback from anybody else. Let's ask. I know Melika just joined. Can anyone put in the comments on Facebook if they are hearing me?
I'm actually hearing Facebook open as well.
I haven't got Facebook open. Has anyone else got Facebook open as well?
No.
So Helena, close your Facebook because you're the host. I've got comments on my phone, so I can deal with comments.
Try again, Nora.
Okay. Nope, you can still hear me.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on a minute. Yeah, Deborah's saying yes, she can too. She can hear me.
So I think there's a feedback loop going on somewhere in your space, Nora. So because that. So what else?
It would only be if she's got Facebook open, because there shouldn't be two StreamYards. I know this is the first time using StreamYard.
Right. I don't know what to do.
Oh, Helena, you're muted. Oh, so can you still hear it, Nora, when it's just me and you? Because she's just muted herself. Can you hear the feedback?
I need Nora to speak.
Okay, so
can you hear feedback?
Anything?
So Nora, would you be able to use a headset? That may actually take.
Yes, let me go find one. I'm so sorry. I should.
No worries. Yeah, okay, so people are saying both Helena and Nora sound like you're underwater. So have you got a headset, Helena? Oh, you're on mute still, by the way. Oh, okay. Okay, so everyone's just abandoned me. Anyone want to entertain me while we're waiting for the two ladies to go and get their headsets? So, Deborah, you can still hear it. Deborah, can you still hear feedback with me? I've had the issue with, headsets all the way. So Kat said, hey, Joy. Kat said that she has issues with StreamYard specifically to wear headsets all the time.
Yeah. So here's me.
Okay. So Deborah didn't have feedback with me. So it's just with you and Nora. Of course, right? I sound great. Yeah.
Seems like you sound great.
Anyone want to ask any questions while we're waiting? Anything around logos or branding specifically that people want us to ask Nora while we're on this live? Get your questions answered. We're going to be going through all the bits about what you should be considering. Oh no, Helena, you still sound echoey apparently, Joy said.
I do, or...
Oh, yeah, she said you do. And
okay.
That's feedback.
An interesting one.
Helena, you haven't got Facebook open, because I know you're doing double screens. You haven't got Facebook open
No.
screens, no?
No.
Yeah. Everyone's saying you still sound strange, Helena.
Okay, so I'm just going to speak again because I've just changed the settings a little bit.
Let's see.
Nope.
Oh, it's like headset envy here. Like, who's got the biggest headset? I feel really inadequate.
I feel like I need to go off and get my Princess Leia's. So is my feedback still happening after I've changed the setting?
That's not gonna work.
I think Deborah's comment might have been a bit earlier. Still feedback on all of you. No, all of us.
Oh, I don't know why that is.
What we might have to do is we might have to come off. We might have to record it on
and then stream it out.
Recording up, I think, because
I'm fine now. Yay!
Oh, good. Hey, I'm fine too.
People have got headset envy for you, Nora, when you put it on.
Yes, well.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's better now for me.
Yeah,
so Nora, it may actually be about you with the headset, with actively making sure that the mic is being picked up via the headset and just actually changing the settings.
Okay.
So it might just be that. Nora's fine now. Nora's fine now too.
Okay.
All right. I think we might be good to go. Thank you all for bearing with us.
Right. We'll keep a post. I know the guys that have been on from the beginning, like Joy and Deborah and people like that. Let us know if we start getting feedback again. But let's go back to where we were, Nora. So we were talking about the wonderfulness and the way that you work with branding and logos, and you look at their conversion as well as all the process that goes in it. So tell us about how you've come around to being this unique person, coming up with this methodology, this way of working with people to create logos specifically. How have you come to be who you are?
So in 2008, in the down economy, that's where it all really started.
Right.
All those wonderful people who were losing their jobs, that had no inkling that they were going to become entrepreneurs, actually, is what fed this.
Okay.
So before that, I was just, doing graphic design and stuff of that nature, but I was never really a normal graphic designer. I was always doing what I didn't know at the time was branding. I was really understanding what was going on, trying to really get the essence of the business so that the logos actually represented more than just like everything, including the kitchen sink, or just text kind of thing, right?
So you have the essence, the message.
Yes. Trying to kind of get it all together and make sense for the audience as well as really like an insight into the actual person or company that they were working for. Mm-hmm. So all of this sort of kind of developed. And once 2008 happened, that's when I was like, this is a gap that I can fill. I'm actually branding people, and that's what they need. Yeah. The thing that I didn't realize is that for the next 12 years, I would be teaching people on what brand identity is versus branding.
Nice.
That's the difference here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about logos and color palettes and fonts and consistent look and feel, that is brand identity. But that's only one step in a much bigger thing that's called branding.
Right. Yeah.
And so most people start with brand identity. And in my world, that is step 6 of 6 steps of design.
What they're trying to do is they're trying to paint the walls of their new house before they've even built the house, before they know the floor plan, layout, everything else.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, we get.
And you just can't do it. Because in the first year of business, you don't even know really what problem you're solving for people.
Yeah.
And so, it takes you a good 9 to 18 months to kind of figure out exactly what you are doing for people. Yeah. And interviewing people on what value you're bringing to them, because whatever you think you're doing is rarely ever what you're actually delivering. You get it?
Oh, we hear that all the time.
And I think that takes us into the space where almost when you are setting out, you still need some sort of real estate, some sort of logo that allows you to grow into that or to know where you actually end up with in that bigger picture. So I think I want to take it to that step 6 and actually go, okay, so with all of that said, why is a logo so important for speakers, authors, and coaches? And then I want to tackle this one. When they do send you your logo back, what are all those different formats and why and how do you use them? Because I think debunking some of that would be really useful as well. So first off, why is the logo important?
Well, the logo is extremely important because it is your identifier. It is what represents you and is that first glimpse into working with you. Mm-hmm. So there's a warm fuzzy that happens when you see somebody and see somebody's complete branding or even just their logo. It's like an introduction, especially if you can't actually meet the person in face-to-face. They only have the first impression is your logo, and they are either going to say, yes, you are somebody I want to explore more, dive deeper into, or no, you're not the person for me. Mm. So that's the reason why logos are extremely important, because they open up the doors and say, hey, this person looks like somebody I want to work with.
Yeah.
And really, creativity, I think I've said many a time, stick my level of creativity that I can get to. But let me ask this question, because I'm hearing what you're saying there, and I'm thinking, okay, this sounds like shopping, right? It sounds like me walking down a high street and seeing all these lovely shop fronts and me just making a judgment call on whether I want to go into that shop or not, purely on that face value. Yeah. Now, I get that analogy, and I'm thinking, okay, if I came across somebody who, there was a list of coaches in the directory, and I maybe looked at some of them that were in my field, and I went on their websites, and this is a question, do people then have a gut reaction to that initial, and then they go, actually, I don't want to, because their colors were garish or something? Do people really make a decision like that?
Yes. Absolutely. It's one of the one things that you have. It's that choice. If you go down the grocery aisle and you're confronted with 73 cans of green beans, you know?
Okay, now you've got me, because I know those coaching websites where people go on and it just looks like, well, my example is TK Maxx, where clothes are everywhere, there's no order, and I'm a structure person, and I do click off those websites. I do get you now, okay.
Yes, and so basically that logo or that label on a can is what initially gets you. So, you know, that's the reason why, and we're probably talk about colors soon too, but it's the reason why there are certain colors that are used for certain things as well. It kind of jumps out at you. So that's the first thing that people identify is color. And so then once they zero in on logo, your color and then your logo, then that's what actually makes them want to pick up that can and read your message, or in this case, the ingredients or something of that nature, right?
Yeah, we've got agreement in the feed. Deborah's loving the labels on the food help, but Chezzy's actually saying, I won't work with someone who has who has soft pastels and flowers on their websites. Too soft for me and way too feminine, right? So we set out our stall.
Absolutely, and I agree with her, because I'm a bright orange girl. You know, my company is Spot On Branding, so I always wear polka dots, and usually orange or blue polka dots. So I am so with you. I actually refuse. Sometimes I have refused doing logos for people who wanted pink or pastel-y kind of stuff.
But I think that says it all. Exactly. I think that says it all. So, you know, when we are looking for someone to do our branding for us, even that, you know, you setting out your stall and actually explaining who you work with and who you don't, the logo helps people to self-select even on the back of that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So then let me so I think we're in agreement, and lots of people listening are also in agreement. So for those of you who haven't yet or who are looking at a rebrand, just start thinking about that as a concept. But let me take you into this bit, because I know people who have deleted various things they've had from designers because of this. So tell us about formats and what the different formats are and what you should have as a minimum for your logo.
Okay, so you have to have, all right, actually, let me put it this way. If you have a designer designing a logo, you have to have what is called a vector logo, all right? And a vector, basically, just to get down in the weeds a little bit, is a logo that is illustrated with lines and points. And so the reason why we have this is because it can be enlarged or actually, you know, put in minuscule and still keep its sharpness.
Yeah. It could be a little favicon on the URL, or it could be a banner.
A banner.
Build, and you can't see my hands going like this, but billboard, you know, or something of that nature, but it still keeps its integrity. A raster graphic is something that is done with pixels.
So what?
Raster, R-A-S-T-E-R, raster graphic.
I've never heard of that in my life.
That is, well, very good. And you have learned something today. A raster graphic is your JPEGs, your
okay.
your PNGs, your GIF or GIF, however you want to say it. Those wonderful guys are all raster graphics, and they're pixel based. And so what happens is that when you enlarge them and they don't have the right resolution for what you're doing, you get that wonderful look, that squared off look of pixels, or also known as pixelation. Mm-hmm. So you don't want a pixelated logo because that makes you look kind of dodgy, and that's just uncool. Yeah. So first of all, vector, VECTOR, and that is an EPS, encapsulated postscript .EPS, and you also can do CDR, which is Corel Draw, and sometimes your PDFs, if they are created from a Illustrator or Illustrator file, you can actually get a vector PDF.
Okay.
But those are kind of iffy because they also can trick you and be raster PDFs. Very careful. Sneaky. Absolutely. They are sneaky. So the cool thing here is that you need all of those.
Yeah. But what we get people that when they have the EPS, they click on it, and because they're not designers and they don't have the software, they go, "Oh, I can't open it." And
there's nothing here.
And they delete it. And you're like, "No, don't delete that."
I need that. Yeah, exactly. If you're having a sign made, they need your EPS. If you're having a banner made, they need your EPS. An EPS is an absolutely amazing document, and it is absolutely, positively the one thing you must have in your arsenal.
Yeah, and I'm sure we've educated people already, because we have that conversation with lots of people, and I didn't even know the raster thing, but EPS is something that people, because they can't open it, they think it's, or they think that it's not relevant.
No, it's absolutely relevant. It is the most important thing. You can make any of the other graphics, the JPEGs, the GIFs, the PNGs, the PDFs, all of those can be made from the EPS.
Awesome. Okay.
All right. So the EPS is the most important of all of your rings, like in Lord of the Rings. It is the ring to control the other rings, okay? It's the format that creates all the other formats.
I love that you're such a geek. I totally love that.
3 geeks together. But then when they've got the raster and they've got the vector, where does the one that I want a lot of the time, which is the one with the transparent background, where does that fit?
That is the PNG, or that's the one that you really want to make and put on your websites and things of that nature, so that you can see all the good stuff in the behind. You don't have to actually match backgrounds, and you always have some sort of crazy square that never works for whatever reason. It just never works. So yes, the PNG is the one that you want that has a transparent.
And the PNG so you can have one that has your normal background on it, but also the transparent one, and that's the key, because a lot of people get the one, but they don't have the transparent background. So just double checking that when you order it, that you make sure you get that.
And another thing is that you need to have your logo not just in color, but in black and white, or in black and white. So so that because you're always going to need it in one color or another. You're always going to need that. So if it's something that is a black background, then you're going to want the all white logo. If you're going to have a white background, then you're going to need the black logo. So the thing is that when you get your logo design, have it designed in one color, in black first.
Oh, wow.
And before you ever add color. And the reason being is because your logo will always, at some point in its life, be in one color. And
that's really true.
And if you have it designed with like 4,000 colors, which I don't suggest, 4,000 colors. When you make it into black or grayscale, what happens is it gets muddy and it loses its effectiveness.
Yeah, some of the definition might be lost because you've got the colors are the things that break it up, but actually when it's mass, I like that. Okay.
And number one is don't have your designer design your logo in Photoshop.
And why?
Because it's a raster graphic and it's going to be based on resolution, and it will never, ever, ever be able to be as big as you want it when you want it, because the file size will be so big that you can't email it, you can't put it on a website, and you can't do anything. You probably can't even house it on your 3 terabyte, drive.
Amazing.
So because we train our speakers, authors, and coaches to be the biggest version that they can be, you've got to have a logo that can be the biggest version that you're going to be, right? So when you're on that billboard or you're on that stadium, your logo needs to grow as big as you, right?
Absolutely.
Vector all the way. Vector all the way.
And that is EPS.
Right. So let's talk, because I know we're going to, because we get a lot of questions, and as you say, Helena and I are not branding or design people at all, which is why we bring experts like you in here. But one of the questions that we get is, a lot of the people that we work with are coaches on the authors, and sometimes they're speakers as well. And sometimes they've got two parts of their business. So they might have a company and they might have a personal brand. So you can't see hands, can you, on this?
I know. I was actually playing a moment ago to actually see whether it picked up the speaker, but I'm just learning.
So people might have their company brand, and then they have their personal brand, which sometimes is like their author or speaker profile. My question, which we get asked a lot, is should the logo be the same for both?
That is a very amazing and great question, and it has no right answer. I wish I could give you a clean-cut answer on that. So yes, I do get it. The thing that I would say for most people, that if you have a brand that you, a company brand, and that you also are becoming the face of that brand, and you are getting out there and touting the brand kind of message, but you are being the mascot or the figurehead kind of thing, the spokesperson, so to speak, then I would say that you should actually adapt some elements of the actual original brand to your personal brand. Okay. So whether it is the colors that you use or the font or some kind of thing, but kind of weave some of that into your own brand.
So there's some continuity, right?
Yeah.
So say, for example, like we have 3 brands. We have the Speaker Insight brand that most people are on that page at the moment. We have our Connection Hub, and we have our membership platform, Changemaker Central. And if people want to look at this as a follow-up to this, the consistency for us is the hex colors are all the same, the fonts are all the same, and the feel is very soft edges, rounded, that type of thing, right, in all of them. So you can see the consistency between the 3 brands. And that's what you're saying, really. If the message and the spokesperson is the same as the company, then don't make it feel like they're completely separate and not joined up at all. Have some form of continuity going through them.
Absolutely. But some people have a brand that is separate, that is not related. And so that's the reason why I say that maybe that's not the right way to go with the consistency. It's a piece. So it's not a clear-cut answer, but I hope that I've kind of demystified it.
Yeah, completely. So I was going to say one thing about that, and then Chesy's got a comment which I think is a lead on from the last one. So what I was actually going to say, if those of you who do want to go and have a little look at our how we're linking our brands. The thing that unifies for all of us, Kelly and I talk about, you are at the heart of your business. So the thing that for us signifies that and signifies the connection is the yellow dot. So if you actually go and have a look at all of our branding, you'll see there's a little yellow dot that appears in pretty much everything that we do.
That's you. The yellow dot is you as the speaker.
And that's right.
Right.
And but Chesy's actually saying, my designer put my logos into Canva brand kit. Is that better?
So, no.
Just to be honest.
So the thing is that you should, as a business owner, you should own your brand. So yes, having it in Canva is fantastic and wonderful, but also have the original native files, and the native file being the EPS is the most important. So
if it's, and I don't know what she means by the brand kit, but you wouldn't be able to download an EPS from Canva, would you?
No. So that's the reason why I say that you have to have the original files. Having it in Canva is a convenience. It is not where your brand should live.
And it's chicken. It's not even chicken and egg. It's a receive EPS file with all the beautifulness, all the versions of, and then upload to Canva so you can utilize.
And so just think about it this way: Canva could go away tomorrow, and then where's your brand? Where's your brand identity? It is actually in Canva, and if they get hacked and it's gone, what happens to that?
Got that.
You're scrounging for things that you've got on posts that are low res in Facebook. Well, what if Facebook goes away? You know what I'm saying? So it's please, please, please protect yourself. Have that wonderful, EPS file, and never.
Have them on a hard drive, right? Because even if you have them on Dropbox or Amazon, we're talking about party platforms all over the place here. Having something tangible on a hard drive that you own. What are you laughing at?
So I'm laughing at Chesy, which I think is about the comment about Canva going away. She says, no, the world is bad enough at the moment.
Take my Canva away.
No, I was just making note. Canva's probably not going anywhere. But
the point is, you're absolutely right. If you can't access your originals somewhere, you are still, as a business owner, I am going to say this, there's your business, you are the director of your business, whether you're a sole trader, a limited company, etc. But you have a responsibility to safeguard the assets of your business. Your brand is a massive asset in your business, especially if you are looking to, we're all struggling with the how big is your fish at the moment, but it's that. And Kat's just said, she always worries about cloud-based services, especially if you don't pay for them. And so it's exactly that, so it's like, what are you doing to safeguard it? So I love that. So let's move ourselves on, because we were, of course, a little bit late in starting, and I don't want to, do an extended lunch for people as much as possible. So let's talk about colors, Nora. Let's talk about, should the colors be based on a person's own preferences, being that they are at the heart of the brand, or is there more to choosing the colors? Tell us about that.
There is much more to choose. Now, of course, you can always choose the color that you resonate with most, but it's more effective for you if you actually use your colors that resonate with your audience.
It's all about the avatar.
Absolutely.
About that, right?
Now, if you're really doing it right, then you are pretty much very similar to your audience, and what resonates with you will also resonate with them. So if you're speaking from the heart, if you're actually doing things heart-based and experience-based, talking on things that you have solved for yourself, and that's why you want to solve it for other people, then it's a potential that your colors that you like actually will resonate with the people who you're trying to attract, but not always. So it's I always think, like, yes, we're in business. We want to help people. We want to serve people. But we also want some sort of money in return so that we can live the life that we want to live. So it's much more important to really understand your audience and what their expectations are. A second consideration is your wonderful colleagues. I call them colleagues, but lots of people call them competitors.
Right.
But I call them colleagues because I think that everybody should be able to work together. And when you actually say competitors, it pits you against each other. Yeah. But your colleagues might have the color that you're looking at doing, and you want to differentiate from them. So being very well aware of who's in your immediate circle and who is actually where you aspire to be and what their colors are, so that you're differentiating yourself. I am not of a person who thinks that you should be a copycat brander. So therefore, I feel that everybody's original and unique, and you don't need to actually copy anybody if you're being you and you're telling your story.
Nice. So it's like just a SWOT analysis on your branding, really, in your marketplace. Yeah. And on that, because a lot of people say, from a branding perspective, that in your logo, not so much in your branding colors, but in your logo, then you should be limited with the amount of colors that are in your logo. Would you agree with that? Is there a rule of thumb for designers?
Yeah.
So I am of the school of less is more. Mm-hmm. So if you have 73 colors in your logo, then, it's a little unwieldy and it gets muddled in the brain. It's the reason why, do you guys have Target?
No.
I
think most people are pretty familiar with it, yeah.
It's the reason why Target is red and white.
Yeah.
Actually,
Cola is red and white, right?
Yeah.
There's a reason why lots of brands just pick one or two colors. It's because it's easy to remember for somebody. And you put it in a simplistic shape so that when you're driving at 75 miles an hour, which I think it would be, I have no clue. No, you guys do miles per hour. You guys do miles per hour. That's right. It's not the kilometers with other countries. Oh, I can't deal with it. But anyway, when you're driving, fast, 75 miles an hour, telling from me. But you need to be able to quickly register what that sign, what that logo, what that billboard was. And that is the best way to kind of test if you have a good, easily identifiable and recognizable logo and color combination.
And I'm thinking of that combo as well, because I know a lot of people for example, might be exhibiting at expos and shows, and you are looking around a mass of hundreds of exhibitors. And if you're looking for that logo that you're familiar with, right, the brand that you're looking for, it's much easier to identify them in the mass of noise and color that's there. So that was just a little bit of a side point, but I think some people overcomplicate their logo. And I think you said, first of all, about doing it, first of all, in black, actually helps you get with it. So, and I know one of the things that we've spoken about and what we know about you, and we teach all of our people about having a framework and a process and IP and a user journey, because that's what makes you stand out. So, of course, Nora, the goddess of logo designs that you are, you've got a 6-step process, haven't you, that is about creating a logo specifically. So I know we're quite short on time, but I do definitely want you to tell them, at least we don't go into depth, but what those 6 steps are, because I don't want them to think they can create a logo overnight. I know you do quickly, but it's not like, oh, I've got my color palette, let me go on Fiverr and get someone to do a great job for me. So what would those 6 steps be?
So I call that foundational branding. And so the 6 steps of foundational branding is, number 1, understanding your values. Know what you stand for, why you're doing, what your purpose is, all of those good things. That's what we identify in number 1. Number 2 is your story, your brand story. Why are you doing what you're doing? What actually gives you the credibility to do what you're doing? And we outline that in a way and create your story so that it's relatable to other people. You add those 2 things and you get your positioning. So your values and your wonderful story actually help you identify who your target audience needs to be.
Nice.
So many people just pick a target audience by throwing darts at a dartboard. It's just crazy. The only time they think about their target audience is when a graphic designer says, who are you? Who am I designing for? And you're like, oh, I'm designing for a woman, an affluent woman, from 22 to 97, you know, and because she buys for herself, her husband, her children, her parents, her in-laws, and all of her friends. So that's who my target audience is.
Nobody can relate to what you're saying. Nobody had never.
Absolutely nobody. So basically, we position you from your first 2 steps to the right audience. Then we look at how to differentiate you in the marketplace by looking at what your direct competitors are and who you'd like to actually aspire to. And then we get into things that everybody knows about. Step 5 is messaging. Now remember, your story and your messaging are similar, but they're different reasons you use both. So you need your messaging. Your messaging comes from your steps 1 and 2 and 3. Yeah. So that leaves number 6. Da, 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 your logo, your brand,
amazing,
your colors, your things of that nature. Because when you know yourself, you know your target audience, and you know exactly how you're differentiating in the marketplace, that is when you actually can design a logo that you can keep for a little while. Yeah. In the beginning, my suggestion to people is keep it very simple. When you're in that first year until you figure it out.
Yeah.
Because the thing is if you kind of start monkeying around with too many colors, too many looks, too many fonts, too manys, right? All the too manys. What happens is that people start recognizing you from that. And then when you actually jump to your new logo, they have a hard time relating to you in this new way.
Yeah.
And they don't make that leap.
Yeah.
So what we're
go ahead.
Sorry guys, what we're seeing here is most people will miss step 1 to 5 and they go straight to 6, right?
Yeah.
Which sometimes their logo doesn't convert or they're not happy with it. We talk about this when we've done website. They have a bit of logo shame. Right? But the other thing that I just want to put out here is like, because you've been in the business for so long, you've been doing 15 years and you've had clients that have gone, you know, blah, blah, blah. How often people change their logos? And do they change it because they're either their products or their messaging's changing, or is it because they look old in comparison to technology and things? I'm just interested on average, how often do people change their logos?
So I know people who change their logos every 6 months.
Wow.
Yes, because they're still trying to find what they're doing.
Oh, right.
They're trying to find who they are. They're still trying to find that niche. They're chasing after something, and they're not being authentic into what their brilliance are, and they're not recognizing it. So there are people, so that first year, some people actually change their logos 3 times before they nail something down, and then they do a refresh on that last one. And it's crazy, but it's better to have a simplistic font that has your name or your company name on it temporarily, and then evolve it into something that is amazing, that speaks to you, that speaks to your clientele, that differentiates you. And the most important, I gotta put this out here, and save yourself the money.
That was literally what I was just about to say, which is exactly that. You know, going through the process of actually doing the steps, as you say, you know, right beforehand is the thing that actively saves you money. So even if you're tweaking the design, you know, choosing a good designer, the one that resonates with you, the one whose designs, you know, you are attracted to, and then sticking with that person potentially if you're liking the experience, you know, doing that work up front is invaluable. And as speakers, authors, and coaches, I think the advantage that most of you have is that you are actively thinking about that. As the thought leaders and the change makers that you are, the people that we tend to attract, you are thinking about your values, you are starting to think about your messages, etc. So you have got a head start on people, but there's still work to do, because remember this, you know, I always think of your logo / brand identity as the thing that goes out and is an ambassador for you. As you said, Nora, it's the door opener that actively goes in there. But I'm also very conscious of time. So what I'd love to do is ask you this question, which we ask everybody, which is, people probably will want to know a little bit more. So how do they get in touch with you?
Oh, well, thank you. Oh, I love that. I love talking to people. I love helping people. And you can reach me. You can go to my website at a spot-onbranding.com. I've got some blogs on colors and all kinds of crazy, lovely things, and even on formats that really outlines what we said. And I can put those links in later for you guys. You can reach out and get me on Facebook. My personal Facebook is Nora Day Richardson. You can go to Spots on Branding. Oh, is it? It's all.
I'm adding them right now.
Well, there you go. I love helping people. I love talking to people. I love to dream, and I love to hear people's dreams. So, you know, just chat me up. I'm always up for a great chin wag.
Brilliant.
So you've got that there. We were talking about the branding workbook and stuff that you've got, and then we will put a link to that in the comments as well. Do you want to just tell people about what that is?
Oh, yes. So some people need a little help with those first two steps. And so I have developed a kind of workbook that you can just go through, answer some questions that kind of positions you and your story and what problems you're solving to an audience, so that you can actually get those main steps before you go into your brand identity, designing your brand identity.
That is so helpful. That is so, thank you on behalf of everybody. And so I would highly recommend for anyone that's actually thinking about their brand, whether you are brand new or whether or whether you are actually established in your business and thinking about how am I showing up at the moment, because I think a lot of people are reevaluating, how am I showing up, where am I showing up right now. So it's a great time to just do some of that work. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. And in actuality, a really good business person relooks at this stuff every 6 months to every year, and
Nice.
really kind of, you know, so that they're growing and they're doing what they need to be doing, evaluating what they've learned over the year and what new things that they can bring to the table. So this is a valuable tool, not just for this one time, but this is a valuable tool to actually help position you for many years to come.
The gift that keeps on giving, a bit like yourself, Nora. What can I say?
And I've learned loads, so if nobody else has.
I know. Kelly's now off to research the Rasta word. She's now going to go down a rabbit hole, and that's how it is. So we wish you all a very good afternoon. Connect and Create Day, anybody? We'd love to see you there. And, you know, just please do just keep in touch. Be in the Connection Hub. If you're not in the Connection Hub, come and join us in there. That would be really, really fun. But Nora, thank you. And be productive, everybody. Have a great week.
Bye.